Are we ready to deal with sensitive topics in a mature way? Let's find out in today's episode. Hi, this is Amar, and you're listening to Entertainment, Entertainment, Entertainment. Okay, welcome to episode two of the podcast. In the previous episode, we talked about the way content is king and queen, and how we are dealing with some of the very good content on the web. One of the web series that I had mentioned was the test case, and today, in fact, I wanted to share my thoughts, my review about this web series, and that kind of deals with the question that I mentioned. Are we ready to, or are we mature enough to deal with a sensitive topic without getting melodramatic? And one other thing that I'd mentioned was this, surprisingly, was produced by Alt Balaji, but, and that's a big but, you will not find traces of the Balaji or the Balaji effect or the Ekta Kapoor effect, if I was to talk about that. Yeah, wo missing hai isme, and that's something you can clearly see. There are a couple of things that kind of surprised me, and I'm going to find out more about it. जब ये पहले आया था तब it had the name of Nagesh Kukunur as the director. This is a show which came out in April 2017 with a good amount of fanfare. They launched the first episode with Nimrit Kaur as the central character, and a good amount of launch buzz was created. But uske baad mein, for more than 8 months, nothing happened, and then they got other episodes released post Jan 2018. So, yes, must have been something. Rather than focusing on what happened, let's focus on what does it deal with. Women in combat role, a very sensitive topic. A fun fact here: the first women to get into a combat role was approved in US, and you might feel it must have been ages, but no, my dear friend, it's very recent. To our surprise, it was December 2016 when the first women entered into the combat role when she asked for a transfer from police military. And in fact, there has been an awareness around the world on this topic. So, Indian government, or basically Pranab Mukherjee, approved that. So this series is dealing with that topic, which is what happens when we allow a women to get into a combat role. What are the challenges? How one sees it? What happens to the society, the system, the hierarchy, the whole male dominated society, and especially if you're talking about armed forces and the military, that's clearly dominated or all men team. So, what happens when you have women getting in there? So yeah, it does allow itself or lend itself into a lot of melodramatic situation. अगर उन्हें चाहते थे तो वो कुछ भी कर सकते थे, but I don't think they went that route. There is a bit of melodrama in there. You have Nimrit Kaur doing really good job at playing the role of Captain Shikhar Sharma. And Juhi Chawla is a minister who makes a guest appearance in that. You have very good Manoj Kulkarni and Mukul Dev kind of playing the key or the pivotal roles, and obviously there are other actors who are the fellow cadets for this training in the combat forces. the way a typical armed forces movie that would start. We've seen those movies or shows, right? That people come in and then there is a little bit of background that's provided about these individuals. What's the story? Then our lead character would be an underdog, how he or she overcomes the challenges and rises as the hero, and in the end becomes victorious. So that's something which is fairly templatized or standard. This also has a mystery element involved in it, which is to do with what happened during those 2 days or 48 hours, which is the last milestone or exam that's kind of, or the very key, rather than last, I should say, a very key or an important milestone in their entire training program, where they are left in the jungle, and it actually simulates the situation of the real life combat. So, what happens during that time, and the way a standard mystery movies dealt with, which is you talk about a shock element, and then there is flash forward, and you go into the flashback, you discuss a few pointers as to what happened, and then we start extrapolating. The mystery unreveals in a gradual way, so that's dealt with really, really well. You have this entire web series kind of covering in 10 episodes. Each episode, barring the first one, which is around 40 minutes, each of these episodes are around 20 to 25 minutes. So, overall, if you see, they could have edited it and made it like a full movie, and it does have that potential done really well. So, I clearly feel that is a good thing, and I would like to see that the web series that are receiving a great response, can we have a complete movie done out of it? In fact, Voot, the Colors app, and they do have shows. I'm going to talk about it in some of the later podcast episodes. They do it this way, that some of the web series that they have come out with, you have individual episodes, and then they have made a single movie that you can watch. So, an interesting trend to kind of look out for. More on that later. Coming back, if I was to talk again about the highlights of the test case, clearly you have Captain Shikha Sharma, that's Nimrit Kaur, doing a fantastic job. Mukuldev placing the challenge. Some of the fellow cadets who are involved in the impression about the women. Some of the dialogues are strong enough, and that kind of gets you thinking that there's a strong statement which is put, we make men out of boys, and that's a question that's thrown to Nimrit Kaur, that what would we make out of you? The response is good enough, and I'm not kind of revealing anything. This is there in the trailer that you can watch online. There are others where how she deals with specific situations. She doesn't want a sympathy, puts in her heart and soul, and why. And obviously, the backstory kind of helps you to get at that situation as to why she would do in the particular way. So the character arc, especially from Nimrit Kaur, is good. For others, there are stereotypes that they have created. There are human beings who are emotional enough. There are people who have their dark sides, and that's shown. The way the entire investigation is dealt with, the politics that happen, the way people want to kind of stop or resist from any change that's happening, the way you deal with team. So some of the leadership lessons do come through. It's okay to make mistake, but to accept it, take suggestions, how you kind of think through the entire thing or process information, why listening is a fine art, All these things are dealt with, and which is what made me kind of consider doing a review or pose that question, that are we ready, or can we deal with a sensitive topic like women in combat, where there are a lot of eyebrows raised, where everyone wants to kind of encourage or support it, considering the whole male dominated society we have. Are we doing enough to kind of support it? So that's where this whole topic is dealt with in a very good storytelling way, creating that excitement, creating the mystery. And the mystery also tells you what are the possible things we need to watch out for, and how military deals with this entire thing. Obviously, in the end, there is a shining star that you would have. So go watch it. It's available on Geo Cinema and on Alt Balaji app. The first, I think, 2 or 3 episodes are available for free. At least the first one is definitely available for free on YouTube. So you can go watch it out there. I will put the link for the YouTube episode in the podcast show notes, so you can basically take it from there. If you have watched this series, let me know what you thought about it. How did you feel about this show? Let me know your feedback. I know this is probably coming in late in the sense of review, but just want to express what I feel about it. And there are many other shows where we have been dealing with things maturely, the way, let's say, we deal with the whole issue of bigotry, or the way we deal with the issue of extramarital affair. There are short films, there are movies, videos, or web series kind of deal with it. And no, I'm not referring to Ekta Kapoor shows, which still deals with it the same way. Okay, so please leave your comments. Let me know your thoughts. I would really like to hear what are some of the topics that you would like me to cover. What is your thought about how am I doing with this podcast? What are the things that I can work or improve on? So, yeah, thank you so much for listening to this episode. Please share your review for the test case, and talk to you soon.